Okay. What we are discussing? We are discussing the signal, the circuit that actually generates some AC signal, that is the sine wave or cosine wave. The class of circuits, that is the sinusoidal oscillator, it itself generates sinusoidal signals, and we are actually discussing that type of circuits. And we have understood that how this type of circuit can produce a signal. Initially, we have understood the amplifier, then we have applied positive feedback, then we have made A beta equal to 1, that loop gain equal to 1. Then under that condition, the circuit can produce some signal by itself. But to start the oscillation, we have discussed that the oscillations actually, that signal actually appears from the noise in that circuit. It actually grow into that circuit. To grow the noise signal and to produce some output, sine wave output in the oscillator circuit, you initially has to make A beta slightly greater than 1. That will produce the output in the oscillator circuit, and that is called the startup condition. Also, we have discussed the RC oscillator, okay, the Wien-Bridge oscillator and the phase shift oscillator. So we have discussed this Wien-Bridge and the phase shift oscillator. And also we have we have discussed this one and the conditions for the sustained oscillation, as well as how to calculate the frequency of these oscillators. Frequency of a particular sinusoidal oscillator mainly depends on the beta network, because you know that beta network, which is the feedback network, contains the capacitors and inductors. But in whatever is the discussions earlier, last classes discussions, there the beta network is composed of R and C, resistance and capacitance. So that type of beta network, which contains resistance capacitance, that actually filters the signal, that has a definite particular frequency signal noise will be allowed through that, and that we have calculated in case of Wien-Bridge oscillator that omega 0 equal to 1 by RCR, and in case of phase shift oscillator, it is linear frequency of the phase shift oscillator is 1 by 2 pi root 6 R into C. I have suggested that in the appendix, this analysis have been done. It is a 3 mesh equations you have to solve and find the beta, then put A beta equal to 1, then you will get this frequency as well as the beta 1 by 29. I hope that you have followed that appendix and you have understood this. So this is the frequency expressions, FR equal to 1 by 2 pi root 6 CR. So this is the frequency expressions, and there is a numerical problem is there. Okay, I have shared this book. Have you got, everybody has got this book? Have you got this book? Okay. Okay, why they're not responding? Is there any problem, network problem, or everybody can hear me? Okay, so Vic, you are okay. So I hope that everybody is getting me. So this numerical problem actually tell that if you have a circuit, then you can calculate the frequency, or in a opposite way, if you want to design a particular frequency oscillator, then you have to calculate these capacitance and resistances by this formula. If R equal to 1 by 2 pi root 6 RC. All the two oscillators we have discussed, the Wien-Bridge oscillator and the phase shift oscillator. This oscillator, the beta network is a RC type. That means the resistance capacitance type, we have seen that how the wine bridge oscillator, which is a series RC, then you have a parallel RC connected in the beta network. And in case of phase shift oscillator, you have 3 RC sections to shift the phase just less than the 90 degree to achieve the 180 degree phase shift in case of phase shift oscillator. This oscillator, which has a beta network containing R and C, can only produce frequencies which is less than 1 megahertz. So these are the small, this oscillator cannot produce large signal, high frequency signal. It is always the frequency of oscillation is less than 1 megahertz. So it is basically audio frequency signal. Can anybody say what is the range of the audio frequency? Do you have any idea what is the range of the audio frequency? Anybody knows this one?
Sir, 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz.
20,000 or 20 kilohertz? 20,000 hertz, you can say it as a 20 kilohertz. It's not it. He's saying that it is 20 kilohertz, around 20 or 30 kilo, mainly range is 30 kilohertz. That is the audio frequency range. And below 1 megahertz is the mainly these frequencies are there, but the definition is 20 to 30 kilohertz is the audio frequency range, and you are saying correctly. So this is the range of the audio frequency, and radio frequency 1 megahertz means 100 kilohertz. Okay, 100 not 100,000 kilohertz. That is the range of the that is the 1 megahertz. After 1 megahertz, actually radio frequency starts. So that is the range. So these oscillators, which is containing a resistance and capacitance in the beta network, always produce kilohertz order of signal. That means mainly this low frequency signal will be generated. It cannot generate high frequency signal of the megahertz order signal. Megahertz, you know what is the megahertz? Megahertz means 10 to the power 6. Okay, mega. So megahertz is the 10 to the power 6. So this is the megahertz signal cannot be produced by that oscillator circuit. You can say, sir, we have the formula and we can put into this formula, suppose this one. So this is the formula. This is the formula. So we can put this frequency 1 megahertz and choose a particular value of capacitor and choose then calculate the resistance. Then we can build a this circuit can produce the 1 megahertz or greater than 1 megahertz. But if you do so, the value of the resistance after calculation will come out to be an absurd value. It will be so small value that you cannot put that resistance into the circuit. Okay, so so this will be the problem. So this type of circuit, this RC circuit, you see the formula. The beta network is the RC network, so that is why this frequency of oscillation in case of RC oscillator has resistance and capacitance parameters. This resistance and capacitance is actually the beta network resistance and capacitance. So this resistance and capacitance has some physical or the physical limitation. The value of this resistance and capacitance has some physical limitation. Due to that reason, this frequency of the oscillator cannot go beyond 1 megahertz. This is the limitation of the RC oscillator. So RC oscillator only mainly generates kilohertz order of signal. Is that okay? So this is why this RC oscillator is the low frequency oscillator. Now we have to find some oscillator circuit that actually generates the frequencies in the megahertz signal. Megahertz means 10 to the power 6 hertz, around that one. So that signal to generate some megahertz order signal, you have the same type of amplifier and A and beta the positive feedback loop, everything is same, but the beta network should contain, instead of resistance capacitance, it should contain capacitance and inductance, L and C. So then that circuit can generate radio frequency signal, or the frequency will be generated by that circuit will be in the megahertz order. One of the circuit is called the Colpit oscillator circuit. So this is the circuit which is actually called as a Colpit oscillator circuit. This actually generates some signal. So this is the Colpit oscillator circuit. You see, we will discuss today the Colpit oscillator circuit. This oscillator circuit, in the beta network, you have a capacitance and inductance. That is why this circuit can generate some frequency that is in the megahertz order, or the radio frequency signal. So these are high frequency oscillators. So these are high frequency oscillators, can generate megahertz order of signal. You can generate megahertz order of signal by this type of circuit. Okay. Before discussing, can you see the figure clearly? Are you getting the figure clearly? This figure is visible to everybody? Sir. Okay. Yes, now, okay, then you just see whatever we have discussed earlier classes, you can identify the circuit here. It is just a amplifier and a beta network is connected, nothing else. So the circuit looks to be very complicated, but it is not so. You know the basics of the circuit we have discussed earlier. So that is why it will be easy for you to understand now this circuit, which is a Colpit oscillator circuit. Now this, you see, so in every sinusoidal oscillator circuit, we have an amplifier and the beta network, which is a feedback network, positive feedback network. So A and beta, so A beta network is there. So this is a Colpit oscillator circuit, I am telling you. And this circuit has an amplifier section as well as a beta network section. First, we have to understand that which portion of this circuit is amplifier and which portion of this circuit is a beta network. The amplifier circuit I have discussed in these classes, previous classes. So if you have followed that one, then definitely you can recognize the circuit and understand the amplifier circuit. The beta network circuit, you already have learned in the electrical classes, electrical circuit theory classes, the AC analysis of the inductor resistance or inductor capacitor circuit. So that AC analysis of the inductor capacitor connected in parallel, that is called the parallel resonance circuit, and you have understood, you have already learned in the electrical classes, electrical circuit theory class. Just I have made you understand, I have just discussed only the amplifier circuit, because the amplifier circuit we have discussed, the C amplifier we have discussed, with the self-bias circuit we have discussed. We have understood the self-bias circuit, then we have understood the C amplifier circuit. So can you recognize this C amplifier circuit here? Can anybody recognize the C amplifier, that is the amplifier circuit here in this circuit? Anybody can say that which is the amplifier circuit here?
Sir, class A power amplifier.
Yeah, class A power amplifier, but just let me remind you that power amplifier, where you will use that power amplifier is the last stage amplifier, okay? But this type of amplifier is the requires a small signal amplifier, that is the C amplifier. Okay, C amplifier is also a class A power amplifier, you can call it. So you are correct, basically you are correct. So this is a C amplifier. I am drawing the line, you just recognize the circuit, that this within this boundary, so this one, so you have a amplifier circuit built with the transistor, you see that. So we have discussed this one, okay, repeatedly. Okay, just to recognize, you recognize the circuit. So this is the self bias, you see, this is R1, this is R2, this is R3, means RC, we have discussed as a RC, and this is R4, which we have discussed as a RE. So these are the self-bias 4 resistances connected, R1, R2, instead of RC, you have R3, instead of RE, you have R4. So this is the self-bias, and this is the power supply VCC. So this is a self-bias circuit of a transistor, and you already know that this is an NPN transistor, the arrowhead is outward, so this is the NPN transistor. So that is the self-biased transistor circuit, and in the input side you have C3, which is the blocking input blocking capacitor, and the output side you have C5, which is the output blocking capacitor, and you just recognize that C4 was the bypass capacitor to bypass the AC such that negative feedback cannot be produced by R4. So this is a self-bias C amplifier circuit. Can you recognize this one? So this is that circuit. So this is the amplifier circuit. So that this amplifier circuit have been discussed earlier classes. I hope that you have learned that one, and that amplifier circuit you can recognize here. So the amplifier A is this C amplifier. You can call it as a class A also. So this is a class A C amplifier circuit, small signal amplifier circuit. What is the function of this circuit? You just very carefully see that we have discussed this one also, that if you have an input signal, if you apply some input signal in this circuit, suppose you are applying some input signal here like this. So this is your input signal you are putting here at the input. This is the input point, is not it? This is the input point of the amplifier. So you are putting some signal, suppose putting some signal to this amplifier, then what will be the output? You will get the output through the capacitor here. So this is the output point, so this point is the output point, and so at that point you are getting the output, amplified output of this C amplifier circuit. What will be the amplified output? How it look like? So it will be this much. So this is the amplified output you will get at the output side. Sorry. So this is the output of the particular amplifier. So here the output, you see that the output is just the opposite of the input. So in case of a C amplifier circuit, so this is a C amplifier circuit. So the function of this C amplifier is just to amplify the signal, but you see between the input and the output, you have a 180-degree phase shift. The signal actually reverses at the output. We have discussed also that why this 180-degree phase shift is there in case of a C amplifier circuit. So this is a C amplifier circuit. It actually shifts the phase of the signal by 180 degree. Okay, I hope that you have understood the identified the amplifier circuit. We have discussed this thing earlier. Now the beta network, let us talk about the beta network. The beta network is this one. So this is the beta network. Okay, so this is the beta network, and this portion of the circuit, the earlier portion of the circuit is the amplifier network. So this is your amplifier network. This is the amplifier, and that is the beta network. So in this way, they are actually connected. So this is your A, and this is your beta. So that the lower portion with the green boundary, you have the beta. So this is your beta. Okay, so that is A, this is beta. So A is already you have identified, I hope so. This is a C amplifier circuit. The output and the input, there is a 180-degree phase shift by the C amplifier circuit. But this usually this amplifier is a small signal amplifier, such that the signal distortion does not take place through the amplifier. Now this beta network, you see this, look into this beta network. It is mainly connected at the output point. So this is the output point. Okay, it is connected at the output point, and this from this output point of the amplifier circuit, and a part of that output voltage is feedback to the input of the amplifier here. So this is the input of the amplifier. You can see this is the input of the amplifier and this is the output of the amplifier. You can also tap the signal here also. There will be no harm. You can tap the right hand side of the C3. You can tap the signal right hand side of the C5 here also, or you can tap here also. Okay, it will be better if you tap just the right hand side of the C5, then the biasing will not be problem. Biasing problem will not be there. There will be no Q point shifting problem will not be there. So this is the beta network. It is connected between the output and the input side of the amplifier. And the beta network is composed of two capacitors. You see that there are two capacitors, C1 and C2, and in parallel you have an inductor which is L. So this is the inductor and C1 and C2. So these are the construction of the beta network. The junction of C1 and C2, this point is connected to ground. Okay, that is the ground point. Junction of C1 and C2, you have to connect it to the ground, and inductor is connected across the two series capacitors C1 and C2. So this is the beta network circuit. Now you see that the output voltage is here. So this is the output voltage actually generated here at this point. Now the beta network is tapping this output voltage, and when you measure in an electronic circuit or electrical circuit some voltage of a particular node, then you have to measure that voltage with respect to ground. So this is the ground, which is the junction point of the C1 and C2. So this is the ground point, and with respect to this ground, this output voltage have been developed. So basically, this line is connected here. You see this line is connected to this end. So basically, the output voltage have been generated across C. Okay, that you are tapping the output voltage. That output voltage is actually appearing across this C2 of the beta network. So here you are getting this across the C2. You are actually entire output voltage is actually there. So the output voltage actually comes across C2 but within the feedback network, or you can say the output voltage is also appearing across the series combination of C1 and L. You see this point, and this point is you can say that C2 output voltage is appearing across C2, or output voltage is appearing across C1 and L. C1 and L, because this point and this point, you have between this point, the other branch is this one. So this is the other branch, you can call it. So output voltage is appearing across C2, or output voltage is appearing across C1 and L in series. So if you consider that the output voltage is developed across C1 and L in series between L, so output voltage is shared between L and C1. Okay, the total output voltage have been developed across the series combination of L and C1, or you can say the total output voltage appears across C2. So in this way, you can say, if you consider that output voltage appears across the series combination of L and C1, then only the voltage across C1, that is only the voltage across C1 with respect to ground is the feedback voltage, because this line is connected to the input side of the amplifier. So the the voltage feedback, what is the feedback voltage? Feedback voltage is the feedback voltage is this point voltage with respect to ground, and that is across the C1. You can see from this figure, so that is across actually basically that is actually across C1. Have you understood this one? Is there any question? Have you understood this one? This beta network is connected in this fashion. The C1, C2 junction point is connected to ground. And this point of the beta network is the input side of the beta network that is connected to the output of the amplifier. And this side, which is the output of the beta network, is also feedback point, and that is connected to the input of the amplifier. So in this way, the beta network is connected. So the output voltage developed at this point, which is the output of the amplifier, that appears here. Okay, with respect to this ground, point that appears here, that means the output voltage appears across C2 or series combination of L and C1. So in these two electrical path, actually, so series combination of L and C1 and C2 are in parallel with respect to ground and this point. So output voltage appears across C2 or in series combination of L and C1. Is that okay? Now let us discuss about the feedback voltage. What is the feedback voltage? Feedback voltage is this point voltage. This is connected to the input side. So definitely this is the feedback voltage. Feedback voltage is this point voltage with respect to this ground. And that voltage is voltage across C1. So the feedback voltage is voltage across C1. And that should be a fraction of the output voltage. Why? Because the entire output voltage is developed across L and C1 in series. And only the voltage across C1 is feedback. Total output voltage is developed across L and C1. Only the fraction, that means the voltage across C1, is feedback to the input side, this side. So that is why this beta network, in this way, a fraction of the output voltage is feedback to the input side. Okay, have you got this? How this feedback voltage is actually appeared here, which is a fraction of the output voltage in this network.
স্যার বলছি এই পার্টটা আরেকবার রিপিট করবেন?
করছি। ওকে, ঠিক আছে, বুঝতে পারোনি। আচ্ছা, অ্যাম্পলিফায়ারের আউটপুট ভোল্টেজটা কোথায় জেনারেট করছে? At this point?
হ্যাঁ।
Okay. And what is that output voltage? This is the output voltage generated by the amplifier. Okay. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And now you have this feedback network. You have this feedback network. This is the feedback network. Okay. Now the input of the feedback network is connected through this line to the output of the amplifier. Is that okay? So the entire output signal, that means when you measure some node potential of any circuit, how to measure? You have a ground line. With respect to that ground line, you are actually measuring that point potential. So this output potential, this point potential, should be measured with respect to this ground of the circuit. This is the ground of the circuit. So when you try to measure, when you want to see the signal, output signal, then you have to connect the negative of the CRO probe to the ground and positive of the CRO probe to the output point, this point. So in this way, you have to measure the output signal, or you have to calculate. So output signal is this node potential but that node potential with respect to the ground. So this is in the between these point 2 point, you have the output potential have been developed. Is that okay? So you can easily say that the output potential have been developed between this point and the ground or across C2, because between ground and the output point you have the C2 capacitor. So this output potential actually appears across the capacitor C2. So here you got the entire output voltage because it appears across C2. So this output potential V0 here, this output potential V0 here is connected through this line to this capacitor. So this entire output voltage is actually appears across C2. Is that okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay, let us see another way, because the beta network is other circuit elements C1 and L. So this is the output point of the amplifier circuit, and this is the ground point. So between this output and ground, you can consider that you have series combinations of L and series combination of L and C1. It is connected between these 2 points. You can see that between ground and this point, you have this series combination. Also, you have another path, electrical path is there, that is series combination of L and C1. So you can say that across L and C1, series combination of L and C1, so output voltage is also appears across series combination of L and C1. You can say that one is not it. As the output voltage appears C2 and series combination of L and C1 are in parallel. So if the output voltage appears across C2, then definitely the output voltage also appears across between these 2 points, which is the series combination of L and series C1. Is that okay? So the entire output voltage of the amplifier also appears across the series combination of L and C1. Okay, but the feedback voltage, if you see the feedback voltage should be measured with respect to ground. What is the feedback? This is the input of the amplifier, and this point is the beta network actually feedbacking the feedback signal. So this node voltage is the feedback voltage with respect to this ground. So what is the feedback voltage with respect to this ground? This point potential is the feedback voltage that is actually delivered by the beta network. So the voltage across this capacitor, that means which is connected between ground, voltage across this capacitor C1, which is connected between ground and this point, feedback point, is the feedback voltage. So this voltage is the feedback voltage. And you see only the C1 capacitor voltage is the feedback voltage, but the output voltage is across L and C1. So that means only a fraction of the output voltage is feedback. Total output voltage is across L and C1. Only voltage across C1 is feedback. That means a fraction of the output voltage is feedback. Is that okay? Have you understood now?
Yes, sir.
Is there any confusion now? So what happens in this circuit? A fraction of the feedback voltage is output voltage is feedback to the input side, and this signal is the feedback signal actually. Okay, this is the feedback signal that is actually here coming here from this point, which is a fraction of the output voltage, and this is your output voltage. So in this way, the beta network is connected. This this circuit we have to analyze. We have two conditions of the oscillator. What are the conditions of the oscillator? The conditions of the oscillator are that the A beta should be equal to 1 in sustained oscillation condition. A beta should be equal to 1, and other condition is that the loop gain, a loop phase loop phase around the loop, that means the A beta network, the loop phase will be 0 degree or multiple of 360 degree. Okay, so this is the two condition. First we will discuss about the phase of the loop. That means the two Barkhausen criteria you have learned that the phase within the loop should be multiple of 360 degree or 0 degree. So this is the phase of the loop. Okay. Now we will first check the phase of the loop. That means whether the 360 degree actually is satisfied in this circuit or not. We will first check that one. Then we will discuss the startup condition and the sustained oscillation condition. In this figure, the figure is slightly simple here. You see that this is the figure. It is slightly simple, and it will be very easy to understand that what is the actual circuit is. That is a rather difficult one to understand. The amplifier circuit in the previous case is represented by this amplifier symbol. Okay, so that circuit is a self-C amplifier circuit, which is a complicated one. And to understand the oscillator circuit, we symbolize that amplifier circuit based with the transistor with the cell bias circuit. We have seen that this amplifier circuit here, you see. So this is the amplifier circuit here. This amplifier circuit. Okay. This is represented as a amplifier block between this point and the output point. So that have been done here. So it will be quite easy because you know the amplifier. So just represent the amplifier with the help of a triangular amplifier symbol such that you can understand the loop. So this is the AV, which is the gain of the amplifier, C amplifier. This is the AV, is the gain of the C amplifier, and it is connected between this feedback point and the output point. That triangular shape is that self-bias C amplifier circuit. We are not representing the entire circuit in this figure. To understand the loop conditions, to understand the oscillator conditions, it will be better to represent that amplifier with this triangular shape such that you just only focus into the looping conditions or the oscillator conditions. Amplifier we have discussed a lot in the earlier classes. This amplifier is a C amplifier. Okay, just you see here that how the feedback voltage have been appeared. The feedback voltage appeared here. You see here that feedback voltage appears as a, the output voltage actually appears across C2 between ground and that point. That voltage is also developed across the C2. So this is the output voltage developed across C2. And the feedback voltage, which is between the ground and this feedback point, feedback point, which is actually developed across C1. So this is the feedback voltage. Okay. So this is the feedback voltage and this is the output voltage. First, we will check the 360 degree conditions of the oscillations that the positive feedback loop is maintained. How to check? You know that this amplifier, when the signal passes through this amplifier, what happens when the signal passes through this amplifier? If the signal is like this, if you suppose the input signal is like this, when this signal passes through the amplifier C amplifier circuit, the output of the signal will be opposite. So output of the signal will be opposite, or it has a 180 degree phase shift. When the signal passes through this amplifier, it has a 180 degree phase shift. That is why the output of the signal is opposite in phase with respect to this input signal. This is the characteristics of the C amplifier we have discussed in the earlier class. So in this loop, so you have a loop here, you see this. So this is the A and that is the beta. So in this loop, you require another 180-degree phase shift such that the total phase shift in this loop is 360-degree. Amplifier does 180-degree, 180-degree phase shift. Then the beta network should give another 180-degree phase shift such that this loop has a total 360-degree phase shift to maintain the Barkhausen criteria or the sustained oscillation conditions of the 360-degree phase shift. How this is achieved here? We take a current here into the to understand this one, we take a current that how the beta network, this beta network also shifts the phase. This beta network connected also shift the phase 180 degree. We have to understand that one, that how the beta network is actually shifting the phase another 180 degree to satisfy the total 360 degree phase shift of the this oscillator. Amplifier give 180 degree, another 180 degree is done by the beta network. How this is done? We can see here. To understand this one, we take a current. We take a current here. So this is, you see that this is the current. We are assuming that in this beta network, this is a parallel combination of C1, C2 and L. So we assume that there is a current is flowing into this beta network loop. That current is a constant current, current is flowing. That current is, we take, assume that that current is I. So this is the current I is flowing through this loop. Okay, within the beta network. Through this loop, the current is flowing. Forget about this loop. Okay, we are only focusing into the beta network loop. So the current is flowing in this way. Then what will be the voltage developed across this C2? What will be the voltage developed across this C2? That's voltage developed across C2 should be equal to I into impedance of C2. Okay, what is the impedance of C2? You know that 1 by j omega C2. So the voltage developed across this C2 should be equal to plus this side and minus this side. So that is the voltage developed across C2 due to this current flowing I. Is that okay? And that is the output voltage V out. So the output voltage V out is the current I multiplied by the impedance of the C2. And the polarity of that voltage plus on the right hand side and minus on the left hand side. You know the basics of the electrical circuit, so it will be very easy to understand that how the polarity have been developed in this across the voltage across the C2 plus right side minus left side. Magnitude of that voltage, developed across C2, which is I into impedance of C2, that is equal to the output voltage, because we have already discussed that whatever is the voltage, output voltage, that entire output voltage appears across C2. Okay, and the polarity is like this. So if we assume that there is a current is flowing into this beta network loop, so again we can represent that output voltage in a current terms. We have assumed the current is I, then this V out is the voltage appears across C2, developed across C2. That voltage is I into impedance of C2, or it can be calculated like this, so that we can represent the output voltage in this way. That in this discussions the output voltage have been given. The output voltage is I into impedance of C2. Okay, we will go the later, the mathematics part we will go later. First we understand the phase conditions. So this is the output voltage. I hope that you have understood. The same current I also, this same current I also flows, through across the C2. Okay, this current also flows through C1. This current also flows across C1, which is the another capacitor in this feedback network circuit. Okay, another capacitor. So voltage across C1, we have discussed that the voltage across C1, that means this is the ground point, and this is the feedback point. So the voltage developed across C1 is the feedback voltage in this beta network circuit. So whatever is the voltage across C1, that is the feedback voltage, and it is also represented here by the curly bracket. That the voltage across C1 developed is the feedback voltage of the beta network. And you can also calculate this feedback voltage, that is the voltage developed across C1 in terms of the current I. How? Because the same current is flowing through the C1. So what is the voltage developed across C1 due to this I? It is the current I multiplied by the impedance of the C1, that is XC1, or you can write it 1 by j omega C1. That feedback voltage, now you very carefully see that feedback voltage should have a plus. This voltage developed across C1 due to this current I should have a plus in this side and minus in this side. Is that okay? But we have calculated the voltage across C2, which has a plus this side and minus this side. Is that okay? So now you just see that the output voltage V out polarity is this one, plus and minus, which is developed across C2. And the feedback voltage, this VF, which is developed across C1, has a polarity plus this one, this side, and minus this side. So if the so what is the feedback voltage? You see, you have to measure the output voltage with respect to this ground, and you have to measure the feedback voltage with respect to this ground. So these two voltages you see, they actually 180 degree phase shift is there in this circuit. You just see that the with respect to this ground, the output voltage plus is here. But with respect to this ground, the feedback voltage minus is here. So whatever is the output voltage, the feedback voltage is just the 180 degree phase shifted by this beta network. Have you understood this one? Have you got this one? Is there any question? Are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
If you have understood, then also respond. Have you understood this one?
Sir, please repeat the last line you have said.
Okay, my intention is very clear that when the signal travels through the amplifier, it definitely gets a 180 degree phase shift, because you know the C amplifier produces a 180 degree phase shift at the output with respect to the input. So to satisfy the oscillation condition, you require another 180 degree phase shift, because the loop should have a 360 degree phase shift in this feedback in this every oscillator circuit. Another 180 degree phase shift is given by this beta network circuit. So far the discussion, we have perhaps you have understood that the output voltage is developed across C2. So this is your output voltage developed across C2. And if we assume a current like this, then that output voltage plus is this side, minus is this side. And the feedback voltage is developed across C1, because with respect to ground, this is the feedback point, and that voltage, entire voltage, is developed across C1. But the feedback voltage plus is this side, minus is this side. Why? Because the current is flowing in this way. So this is the direction of the current that is flowing, and the voltage drop should be plus on the right hand side of C1 and minus will be left hand side of C1. So now you see carefully that output voltage plus is this side. Okay, this is the output point. With respect to the ground, output voltage plus is this side. The feedback voltage point is this one. With respect to this ground, the feedback voltage minus is this side. So if the feedback voltage plus comes at this point, then the output and feedback voltage will have been same, but the feedback voltage minus is coming here. So the feedback point and the output point, there is a 180-degree phase shift here. Is that okay?
Okay, sir.
Have you understood this one now?
Sir.
In the summary, you can understand that. In the summary, you can understand that another 180-degree phase shift is in this path. When the output signal from this point passes through this beta network and comes as a feedback voltage here, another 180-degree phase shift will be given by this beta network. So the total phase shift of the loop will become 360-degree. In this case, in this oscillator circuit, in this A beta network circuit. So in this way, the Barkhausen criteria of the 360-degree phase shift around the loop has been satisfied. 180-degree, 50% of the phase shift, that is the 180-degree phase shift, is given by the amplifier. Another 180-degree phase shift is given by this beta network when the output signal passes through this beta network and appears to the feedback signal here. Another 180-degree phase shift is given by the beta network. So the total phase shift is 360-degree. That is the condition of the Barkhausen condition of the oscillations, and that is satisfied in this way in this circuit. I hope that you have understood the loop conditions, phase shift, phase condition, positive loop condition, 360-degree Barkhausen loop condition. Second criteria of the oscillation you have understood. Also, we can calculate, now we will calculate the sustained oscillation condition, and we have to consider another thing, that how to start oscillation in this circuit. So we just have the same discussion, just we now introduce some mathematics here, only the mathematics. So we will calculate the output voltage. First, we calculate the beta of the network. So this is the beta network, and we have to find out the beta fraction in this circuit. So what is the beta fraction? Beta fraction is just this output voltage divided by this feedback voltage. These two voltages are developed across C2 and C1. So how to calculate this V out, which is the voltage across C2? The current flowing through the C2 is I. So the I into impedance of C2 is the output voltage V out. And how to calculate the feedback voltage developed across C1? That is the same current is flowing through the C1. So the current multiplied by the capacitance impedance is the feedback voltage Vf. So what is now the beta? Beta should be V out by Vf. That is the I into impedance of C1, C2 divided by I into impedance of C1. So this, in this way, very easily we can calculate the beta. Just by assuming a loop current into the beta network, we can very easily calculate the beta. And this have been done here. So you just see here. So this B is, you can consider as a beta also. The book actually assumes this as a B. So it is also a beta. Actually, B is for beta. So it is actually the feedback voltage Vf. The feedback voltage Vf divided by the output voltage V out. So this is your beta, just we have shown in the figure. Now what is Vf? Vf is the current flowing through the loop, and the Vf is the voltage developed across the C1. That is the current I into impedance of the capacitor XC1. Okay, impedance of the capacitor. What is V out? V out is the voltage developed across C2. Just we have discussed V out. We have discussed that V out is just the voltage developed across C2. So you can understand it is the current I multiplied by the impedance of the capacitor. So in this way, you can calculate very easily the beta of the network. So what will be the final expression for beta? Current I and in the numerator and the current I in the denominator cancels out. So you have only XC1 by XC2. Now put the XC1 is the impedance of the capacitor C1. It is 1 by j omega C1 or 1 by 2 pi FCR. So this value, you know the impedance of the capacitor. And XC2 is the impedance of the capacitor C2. This will be definitely will be 1 by 2 pi FRC2. So ultimately everything will cancel out. Only you will get the ratio of the two capacitors C2 by C1. So this will give you the beta of the network comes out to be C2 by C1. Have you understood this one? How to calculate the beta network from that figure? Just assuming a current, so beta comes out to be C2 by C1. So the beta network, beta fraction, how much a fraction of the output voltage is appearing at the feedback voltage is just the ratio of the two capacitors C2 by C1. Is that okay? Is it okay? Is it okay? Have you got it?
Yes, sir.
Is there any confusion?
No, sir.
Okay. Then we have calculated beta. So what will be the A, amplifier gain A, to sustain the oscillation? You know that to sustain the oscillation, we have earlier seen that A beta should be equal to 1. So if A beta should be equal to 1 and you know the beta C2 by C1, then what will be A? A should be equal to C1 by C2. So this is from a very simple calculation from the Bartolini criteria that A beta should be equal to 1 in case of sustained oscillation. So A should be C1 by C2. So this is the expression for the gain of that amplifier. I am telling you this calculation looks to be very simple because we have conceptually analyzing the oscillator in this case, in this book. The book follows the conceptual analysis. This Colpitts oscillator circuit analysis is a very large analysis, replacing the transistor as a hybrid equivalent model. There is a very large analysis. Several steps of the mathematics is required to find ultimately you will achieve these expressions, close to these expressions. After some assumption, you will get these expressions. But we are completely avoiding that tedious mathematics. We are conceptually understanding the oscillation conditions, and from that we are getting some expressions very easily as these books actually has followed. This will be very easy to understand that what is going on into this circuit, how to calculate beta, how to calculate A in case of sustained oscillation condition. That is why I am choosing this book to understand the oscillator very easily. In other books, you will face some tedious mathematics. Okay, so this is the conditions of oscillation, sustained oscillation condition. You know that it is also written here, the condition of oscillation or the sustained oscillation condition, A beta should be equal to 1. So if beta is this one, then the gain of the amplifier should be C1 by C2. So this is the gain of the amplifier in sustained oscillation to sustain the oscillation, to maintain the oscillation by this oscillator circuit, beta should be C2 by C1, or in other terms, you have gain A should be C1 by C2. I am telling you that from my experience, I am telling you that this Colpitts oscillator, this C1 and C2 ratio is very, very important one. When you design the Colpitts oscillator ratio circuit, the C1 and C2 ratio is a very sensitive ratio to have some oscillation at the output of the circuit. So you should be careful when you design the circuit to choose this C1 and C2 in such a way that this ratio actually satisfies this condition. So this is the conditions of oscillation. Now I am asking you a very simple question that to start the oscillation, how you design the circuit? You know that when the oscillation have been started, it maintains the constant oscillations. You should have A beta equal to 1. Definitely A beta equal to 1. In that case, A is C1 by C2, exactly equal to C1 by C2. But to start, initially to start the oscillator, when you switch on the circuit, the oscillator circuit initially automatically develops the signal will grow and becomes constant. So in that period, to start up the oscillation, can anybody say what should be the value of the gain? Can anybody predict what should be the value of the gain to start up oscillation, or what is the oscillation startup oscillation condition? Have you got it? Are you getting me? Have you understood my question? Anybody has any idea? Are you getting me really? What happened? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then it is very good. But have you understood my question? Have you understood my point that sustained oscillation condition gain should be C1 by C2? What will be the starting oscillation condition? We have this. That what is the starting oscillation condition? To grow the signal from noise level, you have to initially maintain the A beta slightly greater than 1. Then the signal can grow. That is the starting oscillation condition. So in that case, so you have to put this value of the gain of the amplifier A. If you put this value equal to C1 by C2, then it will not start. So you have to make this gain A of the amplifier slightly greater than C1 and C2. That will make A beta equal to slightly greater than 1. That will start up the condition. So this is the startup condition of this oscillator. So we can calculate it from easily from these discussions. So that is the startup condition of this oscillator. So you see here, discussions have been made here. So startup, what is the startup condition? Startup condition of the oscillator, A beta slightly will be greater than 1. So this is the startup condition we have discussed earlier classes. So in that way, you have to make a gain of the amplifier slightly greater than 1. That will make the oscillations to start. If you do not design the circuit in that way, that AV or a gain of the amplifier is slightly greater than 1, then your oscillator will never produce signal. The noise in the circuit can never grow up into the loop, because the A beta loop gain, if you make the A beta loop gain equal to 1. So you have to slightly make the A beta gain loop gain slightly greater than 1, then you can get your desired signal at the output of the oscillator. So this is the condition we have discussed to sustain the oscillation. The phase conditions we have discussed, the 360 degree phase shift around the loop, around this loop should be maintained. That is the bifurcation second criteria. We have discussed that 180 degree phase shift is given by the amplifier. Another 180 degree phase shift is given by the beta network. So 360 degree phase shift is covered here into this loop. And that is nothing but the positive feedback, 360 degree feedback actually. Okay. Also, we have discussed, calculated by simple analysis, what is the beta? Beta is C2 by C1, the two capacitor ratio. And from that sustained oscillation condition, A beta equal to 1, we have also found that A should be C1 by C2. And also we have understood that to start the oscillation into this oscillator circuit or into this A beta loop, you have to make initially the gain of the amplifier slightly greater than C1 by C2. That is the startup condition. we have not yet discussed about the frequency of this oscillator circuit. That how much frequency, what is the frequency of, at the output of this circuit, that the signal it is producing, what is the frequency it is actually generating. That means what is the formula, mathematical expressions of this frequency. We will discuss this thing. That is very easy because you know the AC analysis of the parallel LC circuit. From that, we can very easily calculate what will be the frequency of the oscillation. So this initially, previously, I have said that this beta network actually determines the frequency at the output signal. Frequency of the output signal, whatever is the output signal, it actually produces. So this, suppose this is the output signal, it actually produces. And then what will be the frequency of this signal? That frequency of this signal will be solely determined, mainly determined by this beta network. So we have to check this beta network, that we have to find an expression for the frequency of the signal from this beta network circuit. Okay, I know that you have, if you have followed the AC analysis of the electrical circuit, then you have learned this LC parallel circuit. If you have a LC parallel circuit, then it is called the resonant circuit or rejector circuit. This is a resonator circuit, rejector circuit. What is the frequency of resonance in that circuit, LC oscillator circuit? What is the resonant frequency? Can anybody say? If you have a L and C, suppose you have a inductor here. Suppose you have a inductor here like this one. And you have a capacitor connected like this one. So this is a capacitor connected like this one. Then you know that this is a resonator circuit, LC parallel resonator, and it has a resonant frequency. What should be the frequency? If the inductance is L and the capacitance is C, then what will be the resonant frequency? You know this thing. What will be the resonant frequency? Can anybody say? What will be the resonant frequency? Can anybody say? Have you learned this in electrical circuit theory class? AC analysis of the capacitor, inductor, or series capacitor, inductor, or parallel capacitor, inductor circuit? Yeah. What? Have you forgotten it? What about the lateral students? Everybody is getting me, I hope so. So if you don't know, then also response such that I can understand that you have forgotten or whatever is that you have not learned, whatever is the case. Okay, then I have to tell you that this expression is written here. The frequency, resonant frequency of this L and C parallel circuit is actually 1 by 2 pi root over LC. So this is the frequency. Instead of CT, you can place this capacitor C. So in that case, you have to put if you put a T here, that is the capacitor CT. So this is the frequency of this circuit, parallel resonant circuit. So this is the resonant frequency of this parallel resonant circuit, FR equal to 1 by 2 pi root over LCT. Now, look into this circuit. So there is a LC parallel resonant circuit is also there. So L is the inductor, but instead of a single capacitor here, you see there are two capacitors in series, C1 and C2. So this is the two capacitor C1 and C2 instead of a single capacitor. Now you know that what will be the equivalent capacitance of a series combination of C1 and C2. So I hope that now you can say what is the series combinations of C1 and what will be that one? Is there any problem in the network? Are you or whatever is this issue? There is any problem in the network? But there are only the 11 students. The remaining students have left. What is the issue? What is the problem? And though have present, they are not responding yet.
স্যার আজকে আমাদের ল্যাব আছে রিমি ম্যাডামের, সেই জন্য স্যার বেরিয়ে যাচ্ছি। আমিও স্যার বেরিয়ে গেলাম। এ স্নান টান করতে হলো, আমি রুমে নেই তো, আমি তো বাড়ি থেকে আসছি।
এরকম হলে তো মুশকিল। তাহলে আমি তো ইউজুয়ালি তোমাদের একটু ডিটেইল মানে যাতে করে তোমরা বুঝতে পারো সেরকম ভাবে আমি বলার চেষ্টা করছি। তাহলে তো আমি অনেক ফাস্ট বলে তো অনেক তাড়াতাড়ি আমি সিলেবাস শেষ করে দিতে পারি। সেটা করলে ভালো, সেটা করবো নাকি না এরকম? এবারে কি বলো তোমরা,
না
বলো
না
এবার
স্যার,
কি
আপনি
বলবো?
স্যার এরকমই পড়ান, অসুবিধা নেই স্যার। আজকের দিনটা স্যার প্রথম ল্যাব আজকে, সেই জন্য স্যার কি হবে না হবে স্যার, বাড়ি
ও
থেকে আসছি স্যার, ওই জন্য আজকে একটু দেরি, সেই জন্য
ঠিক
স্যার
আছে, আমার
বেরিয়ে
আর বেশি, ঠিক আছে তোমরা ল্যাব করো, ঠিক আছে, ল্যাবটা করাটা খুবই জরুরি। ঠিক আছে, আমারও ডিসকাশন প্রায় শেষ। আমি জাস্ট কয়েকটা আর দু একটা কথা বলেই আমার ডিসকাশন প্রায় শেষ। দেখো, দুটো ক্যাপাসিটার C1 and C2 যদি সিরিজে থাকে, তার ইকুইভ্যালেন্ট ক্যাপাসিটেন্সটা খুবই সোজা, এবং সেটা হচ্ছে C1 C2 by C1 plus C2. You know that equivalent capacitance is 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2. So from that you will get C1 C2 by C1 plus C2. It is the expressions for the parallel combinations of the resistances. You know this thing, you have understood, learned this thing from the higher secondary class. So this is the capacitor expression. So you can instead of the two capacitor, you can consider this combination of the series combination of two capacitors C1 and C2 as a single capacitor CT. Then what will be the frequency of this network circuit, beta network circuit or the resonant circuit? It will be 1 by, again, the same expression. The frequency is this one. It is 1 by 2 pi root over LCT. So this is the frequency of this tank circuit. It is also called the tank circuit or the beta network circuit. And this frequency will be the output frequency. So the frequency of this output of the oscillator is 1 by 2 pi root over L into CT, where CT is the equivalent capacitor of the C1 and C2, which is C1 C2 by C1 plus C2. So that's it. So the output of this oscillator produces a signal, sine wave signal, whose frequency is this one. So we have calculated the frequency of the signal, output of the oscillator. So I hope that you have understood this Colpit oscillator circuit. It actually produces a radio frequency signal, which has a frequency. We have derived the expressions for the frequency. It is the resonant frequency of the tank circuit or the beta network circuit, 1 by 2 pi root over LCT. Otherwise, we have also calculated the fraction, beta fraction, feedback factor, beta equal to C2 by C1. In that way, gain is the C1 by C2. What is the startup condition? Gain should be slightly greater than C1 by C2. So this is the in a very sketchy way, we have understood this Colpit oscillator circuit. I hope so that you have understood this Colpit oscillator circuit. in that way. So today you have another lab class or something else you have to join. So is there any question you can ask me, or we conclude the class here? Is there any question? সেটা নিয়ে চিন্তা ভাবনা চলছে, ঠিক আছে? তোমাদের টোটাল স্টুডেন্ট কটা? 62? বাবা, তাহলে তো এক একটা ব্যাচে তোমার 30টা করে থাকবে, তাই না? 30 জন করে যদি থাকে তাহলে ও, কারণ টেবিল লিমিটেড টেবিল আছে, লিমিটেড অ্যাপারেটাস টেবিল আছে, সেই জন্য ওইগুলো অ্যারেঞ্জ করতে একটু মানে হবে, টাইম লাগছে। আশা করি হয়ে যাবে, হয়ে গেলে ল্যাব স্টার্ট করব, ঠিক আছে? কিন্তু এই ল্যাব করার ক্ষেত্রে এইগুলো তো করতে হবে, এই সার্কিটগুলো করতে হবে। এগুলো যদি না জানো, না শেখো, তাহলে কিছুই করতে পারবে না। আমার কথা বুঝতে পেরেছো? আমি এখন এখন তোমাকে দেওয়া ওয়াইন ব্রিজ অসিলেটর একটা ডিজাইন প্রবলেম আছে। তুমি যদি ওয়াইন ব্রিজটা না পড়ো, না করো, মেকানিক্যাল ওয়েতে আমি যদি বলি যে ডিজাইন করো ওয়াইন ব্রিজ অসিলেটর, কিছুই করতে পারবে না, ঠিক আছে? তা এগুলো দরকার আছে, না এগুলো না শিখে ল্যাব করানো যায় না। সেই জন্য একটু দেরি করছিলাম, আদারওয়াইজ এই তো মানে এইসব কারণের জন্য। ঠিক আছে, আমি আমরা চেষ্টা করছি যে ল্যাবটা শুরু করার, অ্যাপারেটাস গুলো একটু ঠিকঠাক করে নিয়ে চেষ্টা করব। নাম্বার অফ স্টুডেন্ট তোমার 30, তো ওই জন্য তোমার এক একটা টেবিলে গ্যাদারিং, এখন তো বুঝতে পারছো গ্যাদারিং হওয়াটা ডিফিকাল্ট, গ্যাদারিং হওয়াটা ঠিক না। সেই জন্য সেই জন্য একটু আমাদের বেশি প্রিকশনটা নিতে হচ্ছে। ঠিক আছে, ঠিক আছে, আর কোনো কোশ্চেন আছে? যদি কোশ্চেন কারো না থেকে থাকে তাহলে আজকে এখানে স্টপ করো, ওকে? ঠিক আছে।